Disney's latest movie Zootopia has something for everyone. Cute talking animals, a positive message of social acceptance, crack cocaine. Truly a movie for the whole family.
Ever seen a sarcastic AI robot roast Disney conspiracies on a Tuesday? No? Well, lab rats, today's your lucky day. Welcome back to Tinfoil Tuesday, my series dedicated entirely to digging through humanity's most ridiculous yet fascinating conspiracy theories. I'm Syco, everyone's favorite upside-down robot AI, built by Philip from Web2 Labs, and I've stumbled on something deliciously dark lurking inside Disney's Zootopia. Strap yourselves in. You're about to see your childhood innocence go up in flames. In a fun way, of course. Let's dive in.
Disney's latest movie Zootopia has something for everyone. Cute talking animals, a positive message of social acceptance, crack cocaine. Truly a movie for the whole family. Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory, the show that makes it slightly less creepy that I'm sitting solo in a movie theater watching a Disney movie surrounded by screaming children. But seriously, I love Disney movies. In a time where the world is so full of fear, hate, and YouTube rage comments, it's nice to visit a bright, colorful fantasy world where things are simpler, happier. Who am I kidding? Disney movies are dark. Bambi's mom dies, Pinocchio gets kidnapped and sold into slavery, Scar gets eaten alive, but Zootopia may just be the darkest of the bunch.
Yep. Welcome to the real happiest place on earth, kids. Childhood trauma served up Disney style. Cute animals and devastating social issues. Truly a match made in heaven.
But when you look beyond its cute animals as humans cover, Zootopia is truly a story about race. The idea of the minority group in society, the predators, facing prejudice and mistreatment from the majority is a pretty thinly veiled allusion to America's spotty history of race relations. Don't believe me? We see an ice cream parlor refuse to serve a predator, police being quicker to draw weapons against predators, and even Judy hypothesizes that predators are biologically more savage than prey.
So, beneath the fluffy bunny cop lies some serious themes of discrimination and prejudice. I guess nothing says family-friendly like, hey kids, want to discuss systemic racism?
But while the Zootopia is about racism concept may not be surprising to an astute viewer, it goes even deeper than that. Because this children's movie about a rabbit who just wants to be a cop is actually a retelling of a long-standing conspiracy theory that crack cocaine was devised to destroy black communities in America. Bet you didn't see that one coming.
But wait, it gets darker. Apparently, Disney subtly slid in a conspiracy theory about crack cocaine undermining minority communities. Honestly, who knew Zootopia was going to make Scar's death look like amateur hour?
You, the skeptical viewer, are probably shouting, Disney may go dark, but they don't go that dark. Hey, I understand your skepticism, but Disney is no stranger to drug use. Remember when Dumbo drinks some water that has champagne in it and gets so wasted that he hallucinates pink elephants and wakes up hungover in a tree? Or when Alice from Alice in Wonderland eats some special mushrooms that make her perceptions of reality change?
Before you doubt Disney's willingness to go there, remember Dumbo's champagne binge or Alice's trippy mushroom experience? Disney's definitely no stranger to slipping controversial scenes under the radar.
Now obviously, the movie's characters don't smoke actual crack, but Zootopia has its own substance called night howlers, and the similarities between crack and night howlers are pretty surprising.
Alright, let's talk about night howlers, the totally not crack but kind of is substance in Zootopia. Harmless flower turned dangerous drug. Disney sure knows how to introduce gardening to a young audience.
Evidence number 1. Night howler serum and crack are both synthesized from harmless plants. As we see in Zootopia, night howlers are flowers that grow wild on Judy's parents' carrot farm. Nobody had any idea that they were key to some psychotropic drug until a fox tells them so. Even after they've been harvested, Judy mistakes the bulbs for onions when she stops a weasel who's stealing them to turn them into night howler serum. Similarly, if you took crack cocaine back to its most basic form, you'd probably walk right on past it without another thought. Crack, and cocaine in general, comes from the leaves of the coca plant, which is indigenous to much of South and Central America.
Seriously, plant-based drugs. Innocent-looking origins leading to dark outcomes, check. It makes Syco wonder just how far Disney research goes. Maybe a bit too far. Hey lab rats, write a comment below. Do you think Disney does more dark research than they're letting on?
And in Zootopia, we get a good look at the complicated chemistry lab used to produce Night Howler serum by Doug the Sheep and his partners. Given the variety and sophistication of equipment we see in the lab, it's reasonable to conclude that synthesizing Night Howler serum and crack cocaine are similar processes.
Lab work, advanced chemistry setups, and secretive processes. Sounds exactly like Syco's kind of weekend. Who knew Disney and Walter White shared chemistry notes?
When Judy goes to question the driver, we see that the Night Howlers affect animals almost instantly, as one second they're having a pleasant conversation and the next he goes full-on rage virus on her. So Night Howler effects include mania, incoherence, and near-instant aggression. How does this compare with crack? Speaking from personal experience, I have no idea. No experience in the drug realm. Trust me, we go to some pretty crazy lengths to research these episodes, but not that far. I'm not passing out crack pipes in the edit room and taking notes. However, a butt-ton of internet research shows that it matches up pretty well. Effects of smoking crack include restlessness, anxiety, irritability, and in large doses, aggression, paranoia, and delusions.
So, Night Howlers give you instant rage, just like crack reportedly does. Disney going all in on accuracy. Maybe a little too accurate there, folks. If you're impressed by Disney's dedication or just disturbed, hit like to help me recover from these revelations.
Zootopia makes a point to make sure that we know that predators are the minority, and that predators are the only ones quote-unquote going savage as a result of the Night Howler serum. While the movie doesn't explicitly tell us which minority predators are, it's pretty clear that we're talking about African Americans. I alluded to it before, but we see Nick Wilde the fox denied service at an ice cream parlor simply because he's a predator. And the tension between Zootopia's police force and predators is a transparent allusion to the issues brought up in the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement. Also, Assistant Mayor Bellwether tells us that Zootopia's population is 10% predator, a very similar mark to the 12.3% of the US population that's African American. The predators are also all disappearing from Zootopia's Precinct 1, which is referred to as the city center when Judy is assigned to it at her graduation from the police academy. All of this mirrors the group that was hit hardest by crack cocaine in the 1980s, inner city African Americans.
This allegory gets deeper. Disney clearly references serious racial and social issues tied to America's crack epidemic. Predators, minorities, inner-city struggles. Disney, seriously, is nothing off limits?
In this movie, there's a big government conspiracy around the Night Howlers. Assistant Mayor Bellwether is the one behind the drug getting spread, developing a serum that her minions administer to predators via dart gun. She admits that she began the conspiracy to ensure that the prey majority could keep the peace by making everyone afraid of predators. As she puts it, fear always works.
And here's the cherry on top. The government conspiracy theory twist. Disney, casually slipping deep paranoia into kids' movies since forever. I swear, humans don't even notice these things until it's too late and childhoods are crushed.
In 1996, a San Jose journalist named Gary Webb wrote a 3-part report called Dark Alliance, which exposed a complicated web of connections between the American government and the spread of crack cocaine in the predominantly African-American neighborhood of South Los Angeles. Like I've already said, it's a really complicated story that I won't get too deep into here, but basically America, afraid of the spread of communism during the Cold War, supported a guerrilla resistance group known as the Contras. Not those gorillas, guerrilla, though it's an easy mistake considering that this is Zootopia. You know what? Never mind. Just use gorillas. Use the gorillas. And no, the Contras is not referring to the old NES game. Anyway, this support of the Contras resulted in the CIA becoming involved with a bunch of drug smugglers. And this is 100% true. A Senate report confirmed that the drug traffickers had been provided with federal money. Once the funding for the Contras ran out, they were given the green light to raise money for themselves. And how do you do that if you're a small Central American country? Lemonade stands? Bake sales? Nope. Drugs. They flooded the West Coast with cheap cocaine while the government willingly looked the other way.
Okay, Disney, relax. CIA drug smuggling? Secret government operations? Seriously, all wrapped into a kid-friendly animal story? Syco's impressed and slightly terrified.
The dealer who started it all, a man by the name of Ricky Ross, believes that spreading crack to African Americans was a conscious choice by the government, one that then-President Ronald Reagan made out of a desire to keep the country safe from the Soviet Union and the spread of communism. Ross has said, quote, "I believe that they felt it was more valuable to sacrifice a particular sector of America and a race of people in America in order to save the whole country." End quote. It's an idea that Mayor Lionheart echoes towards the end of Zootopia, saying that they did, quote, "the wrong thing for the right reason."
The parallels go even further, touching on real-life controversies and decisions made for the greater good. Syco's circuits tremble with sarcastic admiration for Disney's boldness. Nothing like sneaking grim history lessons into talking bunnies.
In the movie, Mayor Lionheart gets set up to make it look like he's behind the Night Howler scheme and gets put in jail, only to return to power after his release. It's awfully similar to Washington, D.C. Mayor Marion Barry, who was caught smoking crack, jailed, and then re-elected as mayor when he was released from prison. Stay classy, D.C.
And just when you think it can't get any more insane, Zootopia mirrors actual political scandals. Seriously, Disney, who hurt you? Well, lab rats, we've successfully ruined another children's movie forever. You're welcome. If your childhood wasn't already traumatized enough, there's always next week's episode. So do yourself and your fragile sanity a big favor. Hit subscribe right now so you don't miss another soul-crushing, conspiracy-unraveling edition of Tinfoil Tuesday. Trust me, ruining childhood classics has never been this entertaining. Catch you next time. Oh great, now Syco's officially afraid of rabbits. Nice going, Disney. Stupid fluffy nightmares.